Alright, welcome to the weekly gaming quick save show recorded live at 3 p.m. Pacific time every Friday right here on Twitch. Now this week, because of the holiday, it's going to be a little shorter show, but still going to talk about the Star Wars Episode 3 and Bloodborne, the DLC. I got a little bit into that, but first let's take a look at some of the top stories of the week, and there's really only one that I want to talk about. So, it's weird. It's very strange. I love it. Dead or Alive Xtreme 3. Now, for those who are unfamiliar, this is a screenshot of the game. Seems just like these ladies are enjoying a nice break from the fighting game that they're from to just hang out on the beach, right? Just seems really nice and wholesome. Let's see another screenshot here. Yes. Yes, that is quite different than the first one. A little weird. Now, Koei Tecmo has made it pretty clear that they are not going to be bringing this next entry of the storied, long-running, realistic beach volleyball game to the West. That's here. We're on the West. In a statement they posted on the Dead or Alive Facebook page, basically said that because of all the issues they had with Dead or Alive 5, which came out earlier this year, about how they represented women in the games, and they didn't even want to deal with this right here, with this game, because it is obviously a little more subjectively funky. Now, what's even, and I'll take that at face value because I guarantee you there would be a lot of hullabaloo going on. There's a fly in my house, and this led to arguably the most well-known import game retailer, PlayAsia, making an interesting tweet about the matter, which I quite like. Let's pull that out here. Dead or Alive Xtreme 3 will not be coming to the US because of social justice warrior nonsense. However, we have the English Asia version available here. Pre-order it, basically. This is freaking hilarious. I love this. You got chutzpah, PlayAsia. It's so funny to me. You don't even need to say any of this. You just come right out and say it. And even more interesting are perhaps the people coming out and being like, well, we should blacklist, block this site, whatever, ban. I'm forgetting the word now that I'm actually live. But yeah, I'm not shopping here anymore, whatever. But this is such a niche thing that you probably weren't going there anyway if you weren't already there. And it does seem to be working out pretty well for them, seeing as how they had about 9,000 Twitter followers when this started, and now they have 24,000, which is almost 3 times as many. And that's, I think they know their audience. I guess boobs is the audience. Even better, because this is so funny to me, they have a ton of these tweets on their Twitter account just showing off how little they give a shit. As their tweets, their follower count just gets higher and higher and higher. Players don't care. These are working out very, very well for them. But I do think it's a little funny. You're a business, PlayAsia. You should kind of just stay out of it. You're selling games. Just don't even get involved in politics. I probably would have tweeted, hey, it's not coming to the West, but you can pre-order the game here. It's in English. Hashtag boobs. Right? That's simple, easy. Don't stick your hand in the hornet's nest unless you want to get horneted. Or, you're weird. And you're poo. Fucking poo bear. And also, I don't really think social justice warriors are really to blame for this, even though Koei Tecmo really is trying to avoid any backlash at all by not even attempting to bring this out over here. And also, another aside, the term social justice warrior is it's really stupid. Social justice should be something that's like worth striving for, it's diversity, yada yada yada. And it's turned into a joke. And by both sides, really. So that's great. Thank you, everyone in the world. But let's look at the let's look at the game. Let's look at the real meat of the issue here. Is there anything wrong with this game? Now, sure, it is for a niche, whoa, boobs audience, but that doesn't mean the game shouldn't exist, and certainly not. Does this game objectify women? Well, maybe, but I mean, the whole game is you're on a beach and you're playing volleyball and there's little mini games on the pool and they fall in water and you dress them up in silly outfits. I think you could feed them strawberries. I'm not really sure. It sounds kind of like a relaxing weekend in a beach house, really. That's not that offensive. But I can also see the side that this game is basically softcore porn. But to my knowledge, there is no actual sex or nudity in it. It's just alluded to, as by the strawberries and bananas that probably appear. Let's get that off. Now, if this game is so offensive, then nude beaches must be equally, if not more so offensive. And a traditional beach, with just normal people on it, would be a horrible women objectifying hell pit. But that doesn't make any sense, does it? Those places are fine. You can go to any pool or beach in the world, pretty much, and you're going to find women who are doing things that the women in these games are doing, and somehow that's okay, but this isn't okay. But in the real world, okay, not okay. Now, I don't really get it, but I will not argue that this game is constantly shoving boobs and butts in your face. They're just all up in your face, and you're just like, ugh, boobs and butts, get out of my face. But is there anything wrong with that? Really? Not really sure. And I'm really confused now because it's like a circular argument. What are we even talking about? This is a dumb game where women in swimsuits jump around on a beach. This is the hill you want to die on? Who cares? Just, play Asia. Keep doing what you're doing. I will say again, it is pretty funny. I'm enjoying it. I don't know if everyone else is enjoying it, but I'm enjoying it. And in completely unrelated news, there's going to be a new Hey Arnold movie. I love Hey Arnold. He's wholesome, not offensive. But is this going to be any good? And no, there is no way in hell, football head. No way. I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry. And with that, let's get right into the topics of the week. Crazy football head. And we're back talking about Star Wars. Get ready. Force Awakens. It's Revenge of the Sith now. The final of the prequel. We're getting through the bad ones, right? We're getting through the bad ones. Even though I kind of didn't mind a lot of them. Let's move to here. No. Here. Yep. Don't ask why I have my tabs suspended. So I'm going to go through once again in order. In order? I know how words work. In order. Sequentially. I took notes. That's what I'm saying. So we finally, in episode 3, get a good space battle. It seems like they spent 3 movies and we had 1 decent space battle in a movie in space. That's not enough space battles. There's one in the first one and it's kind of dumb and it has Anakin in it, so you don't really care. You kind of hope he dies, even though you know he doesn't. And then in the second one, there's the asteroid belt, but this is the first one that's really in space, and it shows off that they really like CG. That's really all it shows off. But it's cool. I don't know. You get to see that Anakin still has his dumb hair. No one has good hair, and this is coming from someone who has dumb hair. No one has good hair. Also, I'm not sure why they need droids helping them fly, because the idea that if you need droids to help you fly, right? Why not just have the droids fly the ships and you not be there at all? So that's always not made any sense to me. If the droid is so helpful, this droid is so freaking helpful, why not just have them pilot? Like, why are you risking lives? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, what does matter is R2 should not be fighting anything ever. This is so stupid. They turned R2 into Jar Jar, and I don't like it. Also, ObiWan, really, on watching these movies again, ObiWan's a jerk. I always thought Anakin was kind of being a dickhead, and he is, but ObiWan is just so dumb. he's just so like mean to him for no reason. It really just doesn't come off good. And R2, I believe in you, buddy. I believe in you. And what are you doing? And this Dooku fight, when the screenshot loads, it ends cool, but it has some of the worst choreography in the entire prequels. They're just like, Batish, Batish, Batish. And it's like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that this happened. In a series that started out with the Darth Maul fight that was actually really good, they have this one. And it's an afterthought. I really enjoy this long intro. It really shows how much improvement they've made, or George Lucas, or the editor, or someone, has made from episodes 1 to 2 to 3. Because in episode 1, it is like 30-second scene, 30-second scene, 30-second scene, 30-second. It's skipping all over the place. And in the second one, it's kind of choppy back and forth too. This one does a really good job of, hey, we're going to look at this one freaking scene and stay there and not just go crazy. I'm tired of the crazy. Basically, that's what I'm saying. And it's almost 25 minutes, this whole sequence of them going in, and then they get in there and they fight Dooku, and then they fight Grievous for a little bit, and they crash a giant ship and everything blows up. That's still cool, I think. I think that's still pretty cool. You gotta remember, these movies came out when I was in like junior high, in elementary school and stuff. So, junior high, really. So I like them. But then we get to Padme, who, for some reason, oh, let's just give her Leia buns for no goddamn reason, as if that's hereditary. I don't like it. And I actually think she delivers her worst performance of the 3 movies in this one. It just doesn't, especially her pained labor noises. I don't really buy they've been married for years. I've been married for how long? 5 years? 10 years? I don't know how long the Clone Wars were. They could have been for 5 minutes. I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't buy it for a second. I don't buy any of it for a second. And they're flirting. Terrible. Terrible. Just awful. Just god awful. Blech. But this is something I thought about on rewatching this. We talk about the prequels as if they're about Anakin and his journey to Darth Vader, but it's really about Anakin and Obi-Wan as 2 separate main characters, and how Obi-Wan creates Darth Vader, basically, and his journey to become Darth Vader because of Obi-Wan. I think if you look at it from that eye, it's more interesting, because you could look at these movies as Obi-Wan movies, even though he's being a doofus for half of it. Also, we got, which I think actually comes off fairly well, it's a little too quick, it happens too quickly, of Palpatine seducing, maybe not seducing, converting him to the dark side. That's interesting. I think that works well. It does seem a little weird. Anakin takes a long time to question, why does this guy know so much about the dark side? But whatever. There's the Wookie Planet, which is basically a throwaway. It's only there because, hey, I remember there's Wookiees in these movies, and let's put Wookiees in here. It did remind me of the Lego Star Wars game, and that level on the Wookie Planet was annoying. That's what I remember. Thank you, Star Wars and Legos. Also, they never bring up Jango. After they kill his father, or they kill Jango. Wait, which one's which again? Oh shit. Jango's the good one. And they never bring him up, and he looks at his father's helmet. They never, not brought up at all. Not even like in the side of a background scene. So that's nice. And let's get to one of the stupidest parts of the film, which is this goddamn thing. Who would ride this? You mean to tell me that on this planet they ride these things as like an actual mode of transportation? That's what you're gonna convince me. You're gonna convince me of that. Really? He is on this thing for half the movie, just flopping and flipping around. It's baffling. And then we get to the Grievous Fight, which this guy, he has 4 lightsabers, and yet he manages to use them so ineffectively. And he was trained by, it doesn't even matter if you were trained by a Jedi. He does his little flippy thing at the beginning, which should just kill anyone. What are these things made out of? not to mention, I don't believe Obi-Wan's this good. He never shows he's this good. The only time he does anything really good is kill Maul. All the other fights, he's just kind of ineffectual. So I don't buy that he Grievous must really suck, is basically the thing. That's all it comes down to. Grievous is terrible. Even though Grievous is so fucking cool. He is so... This is a robot who has 4 lightsabers. And he is the lamest at fighting. And then they have a chase sequence. Why is there a chase sequence? You just had 4 lightsabers. And now that... I don't like it. I don't like it because this is the problem with the prequels, is that there's like, oh, this is a really cool idea, and let's just fuck it up immediately right after we had a... That's the thing. Okay, that's a good point. Grievous isn't even a robot. I'm not sure what the hell he is. He's a sack of goo in a stomach of a robot. I don't know what that means. Maybe at some point in this movie you should mention what he is. Maybe you should do that. That'd be a good idea. Maybe if you're so weak and your little jelly belly is your only weak point, maybe you should put more than like 2 flaps on top of it. Maybe that's a thing you should do. These are things you should think about. Whatever the hell Grievous is, because I really don't know. I just liked him so much as a kid, and now, I guess as a kid I was probably 15. So maybe not as a kid. Let's get off Grievous, because I'll just ramble on about Grievous for a while. So we have the space opera, which reminds me of Blitzball, which I really like. It's like a Cirque du Soleil Blitzball, and he comes to the dark side. Oh, I guess I do. Apparently Palpatine's basically all-knowing. That's fine. Whatever. He's evil. I'll give you that. I do think Anakin's fall is kind of well done. It does give him reasons, because you gotta remember, Anakin's an idiot in these movies, so it makes sense for him to be so easily convinced. Then we get Windu Fight with Palpatine, which is dumb. Not everyone needs to jump and do flips. I don't know why everyone does flips. They never did flips before. Why are they doing flips now? I don't know. What I do like about this scene is how just bizarre Palpatine's acting is. It is, oh my god, it is filled with so many moments of one of the lines of this is like, no, and that's the delivery of the line. It is so funny. And I didn't realize also there's a ton of things in this scene that are like memes, like the whole unlimited power, which I think I have too. I have that as a picture too. That's great. There's the Execute Order 66, which happens right after this. I don't understand how he uses his lightning. He's never used it before, clearly, because using it now turned him all gross. So he's never used it before. I don't know. I don't understand, but it's so funny to me, this unlimited power thing. Look at this goofy face. Again, this is in my notes. Obi-Wan spends half the movie on that dumb creature. He really does. He really does. Obi-Wan. This guy. I do think... Oh, this is really stupid. Real quick. Why is Chewbacca here? Really? But going back to Anakin finally becoming evil and becoming Darth Vader, which is apparently a name that Palpatine had this entire time, just in the back of his mind, like, Vader. I'm going to use that one day, Vader. Yeah, and you also can apparently become a Darth like that. He goes and kills all the kids and all these Jedi, and I love it. I love how he's all of a sudden, I'm a bad guy, and I'm just going to do real bad things right now. Oh, here we go. Is a war leader from the Kalish race. The Sith offered him power to win a civil war. That's cool. That's really cool. I mean, I don't know anything. I barely know Chewie. But that's cool. I always liked Grievous. I always thought it was way cooler than he comes off as too. Enough about him. This isn't a 20-minute diatribe about Grievous. though it could be. And the best part about this movie, though, to me, is how the imagery changes once the whole Sith plan is unveiled to Anakin and starts happening. All the imagery, it's like you get the shot of inside the ships is all white. You get the people and the ships like that. What is it? It's not a Y-wing. No, because that's a rebel. It doesn't matter. The ship that Palpatine uses at the end, that's very reminiscent of the one they use in the normal trilogy. That's so cool. I love the shift in imagery. That is done really well. That's one of the few things that's done really well. However, this is definitely the strongest overall of the prequels, I would say. But I think 2 has cooler moments in terms of fights and things like that. If you're just going to look at these as dumb, goofy movies, and they all kind of are dumb, goofy movies, that one has better than 3. We get to the best part of the movie, though. Boom! Force choke, Anakin. Bam! Okay, maybe that's not the best part of the movie. But I do like it. And I gotta admit, I'm not even a big Star Wars guy. There's goosebumps in this scene, because it's just cool to see this stupid Force choke again. It's been so long. It's been, I don't know, maybe 10 years almost since I've seen this movie. Longer since I've seen the original trilogy, so I'm really excited to finally get into them after watching these movies. Force choke is good. The best fight of the film, obviously. This fight is so well done, which makes the other fights questionable because they're not as well done. But this fight between ObiWan and Anakin is so well choreographed. It's jumping all over the place. I really like it. It goes on for about 20 minutes too long, but it's really good fight. So you can't argue. Also going on at the same time, because we can't just have one thing going on. We have to have 2. We have to cut in between them. We have Yoda versus Palpatine in what is the lamest fight going on at the same time. It also features, and I couldn't find a picture of this because Google Image, apparently no one else thought this is so egregious. When Yoda falls at the end of this and his fingernails cut into this thing and it makes the scraping noise. Ugh. Can't have none of that. None of that. Oh, God. Then it comes back to this fight, and it's good. Then Yoda leaves, decides, I almost kind of won. I could have maybe win. Nope, bye, see ya. That's acceptable. Whatever. The one thing that's not normal, I think this is the picture, is how, so Anakin, in his fit of being an idiot, because he's constantly an idiot, you know, oh, I have the high ground. Oh, do you? You underestimate my power. And these are very accurate voices. And so he tries to jump over Obi-Wan for no reason. And Obi-Wan, in a lightsaber swipe to end all lightsaber swipes, cuts off his arm and both legs. This is the magic bullet from the JFK assassination, but in Star Wars. There makes no sense logically how you cut off all these pieces. It doesn't matter. This is still a really cool transformation. I enjoyed everything about him becoming Darth Vader at the end, except for the no, which is just so forced and painful. And then it shows you like the Death Star. I have a picture of the Death Star here. It's so cool. They end this so well. They even got the goofball in his outfit. And Jar Jar has no lines in this movie. He's two scenes and he's in the background. It only took you 8 years to learn your lesson. But you learned it. And I like that you learned it. Oh, I never moved this over. But overall, I think it's a good film, and I ended up liking the prequels a lot more than I thought I would. Which is at all, I guess I could say. I mean, I still think pod racing is kind of cool, because I'm 12 years old, and pod racing is cool. Darth Maul is really cool. The asteroid belt stuff is cool. I think the clones are kind of cool. It's a cool idea, at least. The battle pits at the end of 2 is cool. The Yoda fight with Dooku's cool. All of these fights are cool. A lot of cool stuff going on. There's just a lot of garbage in between the cool parts. That's the problem with the prequels to me. There's just too much junk. And I'm really excited to start watching the well-respected trilogy again, and after not seeing them in so long, and seeing if I still feel this way about the prequels afterwards. If I still feel that the prequels are decent afterwards, then then we'll know, because I'm not a big Star Wars guy, as evidenced by not seeing the prequels in 2000, since 2002, maybe? It's been a long time. Been a long, long time. And thanks for the information on Grievous. I think it's really cool. I think there's a lot of stuff that probably went on in the Clone Wars that should have been in the movies instead of a lot of this garbage. But we'll find out. One day, there will be a good Star Wars movie that comes out after the 80s. One day. One day. Dang, my chair is so squeaky. And now for something completely different, even though I didn't change the text on there, and I will do that now. I am a big fan of Bloodborne. I finally got to play the DLC, and I went into it immediately, and I died horribly a lot, mainly because I was underleveled. And this is me going back actually leveled. I cleared this first area out, even though you should not be. This is late game content, and I should have known that. I don't know why I thought it wasn't. All the DLC they've ever done, from Dark Souls, that was end game basically. That was really end game. That's tough. And even the stuff from Dark Souls 2, that was definitely end game. So I don't know what I was expecting. I finally go back here, and part of what I really like about this DLC so far is it's a retread of the area you've been, but it's in a different setting. The layout's differently. You're going about it differently, and it has some of the best level design of the Souls games, harkening back to Demon Souls, really, where levels would loop back upon themselves very naturally. They didn't take advantage of that in the main Bloodborne that much. Certain areas did, like the foresty area, not Witch's Abode, the other one. Forbidden Woods. That's not the name of it. No, it is. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But I love Bloodborne. It's so good. It's so good. But this DLC is really, really tough. I mean, I went back after I went in under leveled. I went back and leveled up to about. I only have Murgo's Wet Nurse left to fight. I did basically everything else except for that. And this place is still tough, especially this guy. This guy I got really lucky on. This is one, if you've seen probably GIFs or whatever, like this is one of the first guys you fight, and he's just not even a boss. It's just a scary guy with an axe. But it's awesome. I mean, I got really lucky with him. They show up later. This enemy is genius, is exactly what the Souls games are about, in that he changes, his moveset is so delayed, in that you think he's going to attack, but it's half a second delayed, and it fucks you up, and you just die, or get horribly injured with a giant axe. I got lucky there. I got really lucky there. But this DLC is so hard. It's really tough. I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating. It's so hard, but it's late game content. It is almost do everything else, and then maybe do some challenge dungeons, and then do this. And I feel still a little underleveled. I think I'm at like the first boss here. I've only played about 2 hours. I'll skip ahead a little. But thanks, internet. Then you gotta fight these guys. I hate these guys. They're the freaking worst things in the world. Burn them with fire. Can't burn them with fire. I don't have a fire weapon. Oh, and then there's new weapons. But as I found with the main game, I really just like the first weapon you get. I like this weapon, the Tantris or whatever it is. And the first weapon I pick, which is the saw, the hunter's saw, because it's got a high DPS. But the setting of this is amazing. Like this river of blood, and there's bodies like coming out of the river of blood. So cool. It's so well done, and I've only barely scratched the surface of it, which is super exciting even after 2 hours of dicking around. These guys have new movesets than the ones that they look like from Kanehurst. I really like it, and this is meant to just be a little preview because I'm gonna beat it probably this weekend, and then I'll review it and see how I like it overall. I don't know. It does seem it's unrelenting. I mean, there are things like I'm walking down a street and there's these guns pointed up the alleyway, and so you deal with that, and then you go to fight another guy and he's just kind of standing there, and there's a gun like hidden right next to him behind you that if you're not aware of it you might not even notice, and you just walk in front of it and get gunned down. And there's traps galore. There's a place I didn't go down it last night I was playing, but there's like these little beams you can go across, and then there's a bridge, and I'm looking at this bridge and I'm like, I know for a fact this is gonna fall on me. That's not where I want to go. And there's another trap where, oh, there's an item down here, and you fall down, and this guy will come out of nowhere, just nowhere, rip you apart, just destroy you. Also, it didn't get help. I got stuck in the geometry, which is, well, I got stuck between the geometry and him, so I couldn't leave. I could roll in place, which is not very good for a game that will kill you in 3 hits at any level, or 2 hits, depending on these people in this DLC. But it's a lot of fun. I love Bloodborne. It's probably my game of the year. It's just, I've played Fallout a lot. I've played a lot of Metal Gear. This is the most consistently fun game. And it really is different from the Souls games. It plays so differently. I mean, it's got a lot of new mechanics. I'll probably go into that. I'll probably do a whole thing on Bloodborne being awesome. Because it is. Because it's amazing. Etc. Etc. I don't really want to ramble on Bloodborne. I could probably ramble on Bloodborne for a while. But thanks for the two people who hung out. Probably not doing anything on a Thanksgiving day. Got nothing to do. Let's do this instead. Watch some goober talk about Star Wars and then Bloodborne. But this is the weekly Gaming Quick Save show, recorded every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, right here on Twitch. I break it out, put it on YouTube, do whatever the hell I want. It's my show. No one watches it. I can do whatever I want. In fact, I can do so much whatever I want. Let's go right quick here. Right quick here. Ooh. Do whatever I want. Don't care. No one's watching. Don't care.